Alright gang, welcome back to our Luxury Tax Challenge here on Mecklenburg. It is August. It means that our big massive field over here is ready to harvest. We've got to get a harvester today. We have just enough money to do so. We don't really have enough money to put into... uh-oh, this is not going to work, is it? Uh-oh. We're not going to be able to get these stumps out of here. Well, I was going to try to get the stumps out right off the bat here, but this is not going to plan. Anyway, we've got to get that field harvested today. The rice field will be ready to harvest in the next episode, so a lot going on. We also have the straw that we want to pick up from the last episode on that field that we harvested. Now, one thing I'm tempted to do here is... we're not going to be probably doing another harvest on this series, right? This series is going to be kind of done after we do the last two harvests we have to do here. So there's really no reason for us to re-drill. So what I'm considering doing is buying the harvester outright today and not worrying about the header trailer. Obviously, in real life, I'd probably want that whenever I was re-drilling some of the other fields. But since we're not going to be re-drilling those today, I figured, well, you know what? We might as well just buy the harvester, bring it back here. That's one less thing we have to purchase. And, yeah, we're probably going to do that. Now, I've got a couple of decisions to make here. This is not going to work. This sucks. Dang it. All right, we're going to figure out some other way to get rid of those, potentially. I guess for the time being, they're fine, but really, I want to get rid of those. I talked about that for quite a while now, right? Anyway, in the used market, there is a Fint 5275. Now, this, I do not believe, is really a big enough harvester for the header that we purchased. Although I'd like to have that because it's significantly cheaper, I just don't think that's going to work right now. So it is what it is, right? So we're going to have to go buy the John Deere that we looked at, and we're going to buy that outright. Now, we're barely going to have enough money to purchase that. So the problem then becomes, how are we going to pay for the luxury tax that's going to be associated with that? Well, a couple of things. One, we can sell these pallets here. We do have this on auto selling. It is out of wood, so we need to put some more wood in here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pick up these little twigs real quick right here while I'm talking to you. I've said I was going to do this for quite a while, and we haven't done it, so I might as well just go ahead and do it now. If it'll let me pick it up. So, that's one way we can succeed in being able to... well, quite frankly, hopefully be able to pay off everything that we need to pay today. Probably will not be able to put any money into the loan today at all unless something changes and we make a lot more money than I think we're going to, which I don't expect us to make a ton of money. This is going to make us a lot of money, but a lot of that money that we're going to make off of that is going to have to be put back in to the park itself, as I've mentioned a number of times, right? Now, we do have grass that we need to move today as well, so we're going to do that today. It needs to go over there to the silage creation. We also have some TMR that we can sell and probably will sell today, I think, because that's quite a bit. I think the greenhouses are an okay spot because we did fill those up in the last episode. Yeah, they're okay. They'll probably need some water in the next episode for sure. And yeah, I think that's pretty much where we're at right now. We've got some straw that obviously we can sell. We probably will sell. We've got straw on the other field that we harvested in the last episode that we need to get up. It doesn't necessarily have to be today, but we do need to get that up nonetheless. So let's go ahead and buy this harvester. This is the one we were looking at. I'm just going to go basic. I don't need more horsepower. There's no reason to. Michelin's as I like. We'll do the crawlers. That's fine. EU. Yep, we'll stick with that. And we will purchase 381. So we're going to put in $38,100 at a bare minimum into the park today. And as you can see, right now we only have 18,520, so we don't quite have enough. But that's okay. We will get enough eventually, so it'll be all right. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing well. Things are pretty good here, man, all things considered. One-tile competitive challenge, whatever we're going to call it, the competitive one-tile challenge, whatever we decide to call it, it's going to happen, gang. I mentioned this, well, I guess probably a couple of days ago. I might even mention on the last episode that I think it was going to, but I think it's not even a think. Now I know for a fact it is going to be happening. At the bare minimum, 3 of us are on board, counting myself. Crustu, Rusty Money Gaming, and myself are the 3 that are currently 100% on board for it. I don't know if we're going to add anyone else to it or not. If we do, it'll probably be one other person, and it'll be from the original crew of us. The only other one we're considering potentially adding into it, not that we don't want anyone else to join or anything like that, we're not, but we're considering one other person potentially to join, but it's the more people we add, the more difficult it's going to be to do this, and what I mean by that is it's hard to get everyone's schedules to line up properly, right? That's the main reason why with 3 of us doing it, that we're only going to be doing this, once a week, right? It's going to be a once a week series. It just doesn't. It's really hard to line up schedules every single week throughout the year, right? There's going to be some weeks where it's going to be no problem whatsoever, but then there are other weeks where things are going to happen, right? People are on vacations, or there's work, whatever it may be, right? There's going to be other issues that come into play, real life issues that come into play from being able to accomplish that goal. So we will see, but it does, at least on paper right now, and everything that we've been talking about, it is going to happen, and we're just kind of figuring out when that will actually start. I would suspect we're probably looking at, a couple of weeks' time before it actually starts. Could be maybe a little bit sooner than that, but somewhere around there, 2 weeks or so. A little less, little more, something like that. I guess I do need to unfold it, don't I? That would have been smart. Duh. So one thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to go around a different way than we normally do. We normally always go to the left and go all the way around that way. We're going to start going this way first. We don't normally go this way, so we're going to try it out. We're going to go this way. I am kind of getting stuck on our little water pump there. There we go. And before we finish this series, one thing I definitely want to do, because I've talked about it for a number of times, and we're going to continue to talk about it. I was kind of afraid of that. It still wants to go over into that, even though we've separated the lines here. It still wants to go over there. Anyway, we talked about we got rid of the tree in the middle, right? But we said we needed to get rid of those stumps, and then we want to, expand it so we have a full field. We are going to be doing that. I know it's probably going to be for naught, really, because we're not going to be re-drilling this field. But nonetheless, we are going to do that just to close that loop of something that I said I wanted to do, right? Other than that, as I mentioned, how's everyone doing, man? I hope you guys are doing well. Things are good here, man. We're busy times, man. Busy times. I've mentioned that in a while, but it's busy times. New series has started. I've mentioned that a couple of times, but in case you stumbled across this and haven't checked it out yet, there is a new series that I started on the brand new Giants DLC map in Scotland. It's an extension of Z's story from the Barker Family Farm series, although this story has no real recollection or any kind of even remote likeness to anything that's happened in real life. It's just a continuation of a story that I'm going to be making up. But so far, I'm very, very excited about it. The 2 episodes I've done to this point have been extremely fun. Let's put it that way. Now, this series is going to end. That new series I started really will take the place of this series. The Vintage Survival series is going to be coming to a close as well soon. Don't specifically want to close that series out, but I think it is time to close that series out. We hit 60 episodes, I think on Friday. I think that's when it will release, is Friday. So, I mean, that's a lot of episodes. Really, when I had started that series, I was thinking somewhere in the 30 to 35 range, and I think I even mentioned that when we started it. But now we're 60 in, so there's not many series that I've done that have, eclipsed 60. Really, I normally somewhere between, the 30 to 50, maybe I hit 60 every once in a blue moon, but that's normally the sweet spot, I think, for most series. I think most series have kind of run their course at that point. Now, that series is just kind of a series to have fun and enjoy it, but I do think it's time for us to move on and do something else. I'm not sure what I will be replacing it with yet. I've had some ideas. Specifically, I was having some ideas around maybe doing another type of a survival series. I don't know if it'll be a survival challenge or if it would just be a survival series like the vintage one was. Where you start with no money, but there's not really a challenge specifically to reach. It was just, enjoyment. I don't know if we'll go that approach or if we'll go, a challenge approach from a survival perspective, or if we just go a challenge approach altogether that's not survival-based. Meaning, one of the list of almost 20 ideas that I have on paper. Those of you that are members, and if you're not, there's a link down below if you're interested, shameless plug. They kind of know that I have quite a number of ideas that I have come up with. And in the most recent October Members Series video, I kind of listed off a couple of the ones that were ideas. I didn't really give any details into them. Maybe the name kind of gives some of the detail away, but I did give them a bit of a, an idea of some of the things that I had been thinking about, I've been working on. Of those 20, it was about, I don't know, like 8 or 10 that I mentioned. I don't know. I rattled off quite a few. So we'll see, right? It's going to be something like that. It's either going to be another survival type of series, one way or another, whether it could be another vintage survival series, right? It just on a different map, or it could be, an actual survival challenge on a different map, or whatever. Maybe I come up with another type of survival series, because I've got some ideas for that too. I don't know if they're going to come to fruition or not, right? On paper, it may look good, but then, as I've mentioned a number of times in the past, you start to put it to the game itself, and sometimes it just doesn't come out, as well as on paper you may think it would, if that makes sense, right? So we will see. But yeah, I think it is time. Not only that, it also is going to help me when we're doing this competitive one-tile challenge right now to kind of, in essence, what the heck just happened right now? We are literally stuck, gang. Okay, we're going to get off that line for a minute there because that was a disaster. In essence, that will also help me overall with, getting everything set for this one-tile challenge. The biggest problem for that series, in my eyes, same with the guys as well, is that I think it's going to be a struggle to make sure that we don't have too many mods installed. Because if you're doing a series like that, anyone else that's joining the server, whoever is running it, whether it's me, Crustu, Rusty Money, doesn't matter, whoever's running the server, you have to have all those mods installed. So it's a bit of a struggle there in that sense, right? So I think for me personally, just having a bit of a fresh start on mods and removing everything that I have installed, and then just having a selection that all of us agree to at the beginning here, I think that makes a lot more sense. It's going to be easier to run and operate. It's going to be easier to manage it, and kind of expand from there. So we will see, but that's kind of where our head is at right now, and we'll figure it out as we move along. But enough about that. We are almost around the first headland pass here of this field. Now, this field is still gigantic, but it has shrunk a tiny bit because of our rice field there. Very, very small amount, but it has shrunk nonetheless. So we won't get as much as we normally would out of this field, but it'll still produce quite a bit, man. We're not really losing a ton for putting in that rice field. It's just that corner back there. Basically, if you imagine where we just were, in case you stumbled across this and went straight towards that tree, that's pretty much where the field ended beforehand. We kind of took up a little bit of yard space to kind of expand that rice field as well. So, and I think, sorry, gang, my right stick on my Xbox controller. I am on a console, in case you don't know. It's got a bit of a drift. That's why it keeps jumping up to the top there. I need to get a new controller. Right now, it's not in the cards right now. So soon, I'll hopefully get one. But anyway, so my other one, I've got two controllers. Both controllers have this drift going on. This is the least worse, I guess is how I will put it, of the two. Is the right stick on this one, which is the camera for Farming Simulator, it kind of bounces up to the top every once in a while, or down to the bottom. I guess it depends. But mostly it's okay. I can, as long as I kind of, wiggle it around a little bit, it sometimes will fix itself, like it is now. Like it's not having any issues at all right now. But the other one, it was on the actual, the left stick, so like the driving stick. That one is way worse for this game. So, because of that reason, I decided to utilize this controller. But hopefully soon enough, I'll be able to get another controller. I'm not really buying them right now is because, well, quite frankly, one, I'm the only one that actually right now between my wife and I that are actually getting a paycheck. My wife is still employed, but she works for the Air Force and is furloughed right now. So just not really the smartest time for me to buy a $50, $60 Xbox controller. Anyway, we're going to get this unloaded. We're going to continue on here, and we'll get the rest of this field harvested. And we got quite a few other things we can do today. We've got the grass to mow today if we want to. I don't think we're going to do that. I think we're going to be focusing more on doing this and getting all the straw picked up in our other field. I think those are the two main objectives I really want to accomplish today. Next episode, we'll be doing the rice field. I think the rice will be ready next episode. If it's not, it'll be the following one. But either way, we'll do the rice and probably kind of touch up that middle there. As I mentioned, get rid of the stumps there and then expand the field there so it doesn't have to go around a big circle there, because that's a bit annoying, right? So we're going to do a little bit more of this harvest, probably a significant amount more of the harvest, and then eventually I'm going to put this on a worker, and then we are going to drive up to our field that has straw on it and pick up all that straw. Probably do a couple of the other stuff that we need to do as well. Like I said, move the grass over, maybe sell some straw, and etc. We'll see as we move along here. But we're gonna get to work here. It'll probably be a relatively long time lapse here. Let's see what we can get done. And yeah, I'll be back with you soon. made some really good progress. I completely forgot about the baler and the issue that it was in, and I was like, there's no way we're going to be able to get to that field with the skinny little, bridge and everything else that we had to deal with. So, yeah, I had to end up mowing some grass. I ended up mowing a little bit more than I had to, but luckily enough, it didn't freeze up that time. Same thing there with the straw as well. It didn't freeze up on that one, thankfully. I was very concerned about that because to me it looked like we were going to have an extra one, and we did. But it was fine. So, is what it is. We're going to go ahead and drop the rest of this canola off here into the silo, and then we got to finish up the rest of this harvest. I'm going to leave the straw bales on the field for the time being. We will pick those up in the next episode, because today we do have to spend some money on the park, as I mentioned, right? And what we're going to do is an idea that many of you mentioned in the comments in recent videos, and that's we're going to buy some old antique type of, or maybe not necessarily antique type, well, I guess it could be considered an antique, but old tractors, basically, to put around the middle of the park there, where we kind of have a bit of a history walk, or whatever you want to call it, about what the lane was before, right? I don't know why I unhooked that. Why did I unhook that? Why did I unhook that? What was I thinking there? Who knows? Anyway, so we're going to do that. We have 29,000 right now. We kind of, we're not quite where we need to be at as far as the money goes to put into the park. But we're pretty close, and I've mentioned before, and it's not as big of a concern anymore for me as far as putting in the exact amount into the park, because there's really not much left for us to do. Now, buying these antique old tractors, whatever it is we buy, absolutely will help get to that point. But if we weren't going to do that, I mean, we really wouldn't be able to put that amount of money into the park now at this point anyway. There's just not enough room and not enough things left to put in there, if I'm honest with you. So we're going to go do a quick auto save here, and then we're going to head up to the park. I'm going to let the worker continue doing the harvest here. We might take over... actually, you know what? Let's just look at the menu right now. I was going to say I might take over for the worker and finish it, but let's look at the tractors here and see what we can put in there. I want something small. I do have a couple small old ones installed, like this Porsche diesel. That probably would make sense, or the Zorch. Possibly the Volvo. I don't know which one I want to use. I'm going to kind of look at them a little bit closer here. Probably the Porsche, honestly, because, I mean, we are in Britain here, or the Zorch. I mean, the Volvo, I guess, all three of them really make sense, I guess. Depends on which one I like better to go there. I don't really like the, I don't even know what you call it, the top bar thing here. Somebody can correct me in the comments that knows what it's actually called. But I don't know if I really like that. I love this little tractor, but I don't know if I really like that or not. I'm kind of leaning towards this one. So we're going to buy the Zorch. So that's not bad. As far as harvesters and anything else goes, we're going to be probably scarce, I think. Probably this John Deere is what we're going to have to go with here. We don't quite have enough money for it, but this John Deere, I think, makes a lot of sense for that. We will have enough money soon, but we don't really have enough money for it now. Maybe the New Holland here. But I'm kind of leaning towards this John Deere, because the odds are I'm not going to really utilize this for many other series unless we start another vintage type of series. Then possibly we might. And I mean, obviously it's going to depend on the map, right? The Vintage Survival series we did, I think that is the perfect size map for that type of a series. So it's going to have to be small type of fields, really, to make it work. And there's actually not that many out that have small type of fields like that map does. So very limited. Look at this thing. This thing is fantastic, man. I really should start a series where we have to start with really tiny tractors like this. Maybe we'll do that for the one-tile challenge, competitive one-tile challenge. Probably not. We'll probably have a little bit of a bigger tractor than that, but who knows? You never know. We'll see what I decide to come up with. I'm going to be working on that. Well, the time this recording, it's basically the weekend, but for you guys, it would have been last weekend. I should have been working on that. We'll bring this back to the park. This thing is fantastic, man. Look at it. It's a great idea. Thank you very much for that idea, gang. I really appreciate you guys adding that comment in. That was something I wasn't even thinking about doing, but it's a fantastic idea. So I will see you at the park. All right, we are pulling up now. I don't know where I want to put this. Part of me kind of wants to put it in the middle by our windmill. Means I would have to remove a few of these bollards, bollards, excuse me. But part of me wants to put it here. I think it would fit right here, honestly. I was considering maybe the outside edge of this, but yeah, I think there might be a better choice here. So let's remove a few of these bollards. That one actually might do it right there. I might not have to move any more than that. Yeah, that's like a perfect fit right there. I'm very happy with that, actually. Very, very happy. Great idea, gang. That was a great idea from all of you. So let's put that bollard back really quick. It's in others, I think, if I remember correctly. Should have it all memorized by now. Yep. Perfect. Okay, that's good. That's good enough. Yeah, I'm good enough for that. All right, so that's done. I believe the worker said that they have finished the harvest, which it actually does look like the harvest has been finished, so that's good. I'm going to do this little touch-up right here. There's a tiny little bit right here that was missed. Probably isn't going to make a difference, but, you know, we'll get it anyway. Unload the rest of this into here. And then we can go and dump this into our silo. Hopefully it all fits in there. I don't have to do another trip. Okay, perfect. Only just, but it did fit. $11 hit. We just made a lot more money, so we sold some more stuff, so that's good. We actually probably can put a little bit more into the park, which we will do today. We only really paid, you know, under $10,000 for that that tractor, so we really probably should put a little bit more into it. I probably can get the harvester today too, the John Deere harvester we were just talking about. Now that you know, next stage of money came in, so I think we will. That'll pretty much cover what we paid today. Maybe slightly less, but around that, it'll cover it for sure. Let's see, what kind of wheels do we want to put on this thing? You know I like big chunky tires, so I'm going to go with those. Oh, twin wheels. I like those. Those look more chunky to me. We'll take the license plate off, as we always do, and we can purchase that. Then we just got to buy the header for it. I'm going to do just a standard traditional header here. 6,000. So yes, this absolutely, well, we don't have enough money for that, actually. So I tell you what, we're going to leave the harvester up at the main shop, and then more than likely between now, well, not even more than likely between now, by the next episode, when we have to buy the rice harvester, right, we will have enough money to cover all of that. So I think that's a better approach. We bought part of it today, just because it's not in the actual park yet doesn't necessarily mean there's anything that we can't do what we did, right? We're allowed to do what we did without any major issues. Now, this is going to be a bit of a problem here. I think for the time being, although maybe it's not the most realistic, I think for the time being, I'm going to set this right back here until we're able to move some stuff out of the way, because right now, we've got a lot of stuff kind of in the way here, and it's going to be hard for me to get that over there. So, for the time being, we're going to leave it like that, and we're also going to leave the episode here as well. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't yet to do so, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button for me. They're free, and they help me out an absolute ton. It's the easiest way to help me and the channel out by far. Thank you to my members. Cannot thank you guys enough. There's a link down below if you want to join the members group. There's a Discord link down there, a link to my other channel, my second channel, which is not Farming Simulator or simulation related at all. So feel free to check that out if you're interested. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for your continued support. We'll see you next time.